I think there's significant change in the trends in the ESOP, particularly in the last 3 to 4 years, as startup ecosystem in India and Southeast Asia is maturing and becoming much larger, and more people know about ESOPs and the value created by the ESOPs and the equity upside by ESOPs. I think some major trends what we are seeing is first, ESOPs being created now at a much earlier stage of the life cycle of the company. Earlier, ESOPs used to be created generally when there is a first institutional funding, which is in a typical Series A or a Series B, if it's self-funded or it's profitable business. But now the founders are creating the ESOP when it is mostly self-funded also sometimes, or it's a friends and family round. And one of the major drivers for that is that when they are looking for recruiting key employees, senior management, they are mainly attracted by the ESOPs apart from joining a startup and responsibility of joining a startup. The second is that earlier ESOPs used to be granted only to the senior employees or the senior management or only to the few employees. Now it's being democratized. A lot of companies are giving ESOPs to large of things. I think Chaitanya mentioned they also give to the lot of employees across the levels. Now some companies make it a policy that are giving the shares options to all the employees, 100% of the employees in the company. And I think even OfBusiness does that, even Bombay Shaving Club does that. Third is the size of the ESOP pools. The typical benchmark is that pools are created is a 5% to 10% ESOP pool. Shantanu mentioned they have created 15% and has later diluted it, as Chaitanya mentioned, and the pool gets upped up when there's a new funding round. But now we are seeing some progressive companies giving ESOP pools even up to 25%, 30% for that matter of sharing at the pool. Particularly, you see this larger ESOP pools when there is a single founder companies, and they are creating larger senior management and attracting talent through creating and democratizing and giving larger pools of up to 30%, which is a big significant development, and that too in this India and Southeast Asia. I think the other aspect is on the exercise period, which Shantanu touched upon, where earlier typically to keep the employees and retain employees, companies used to say that you need to exercise the options within 3 months of you leaving resigning from the company or leaving from the company. That means that employee need to shell out the exercise price if the exercise price is there, and also need to pay tax, which Shantanu was highlighting as a perquisite, because based on the fair market value of the company at that point of time, and then what is the exercise price, the difference is treated as perquisite, and then typical brackets of 30 to 33% goes to tax on that aspect. But now companies are being progressive and they're giving longer vesting, and typically people are now giving a longer 10-year vesting, and very progressive companies like what Shantanu mentioned give it infinite vesting. There's no lock on the exercise period. Another aspect where we are seeing the change is in terms of the vesting the shares, which Shantanu touched upon briefly. Earlier, typically companies used to keep it as an yearly vesting, like there used to be cliff vesting and 3-year vesting, but the 3-year vesting used to be every 1 year. That was more because there's a lot of paperwork, admin work to manage these vesting schedules and stuff like that. Now, but with ESOP tools, secret tools like us providing this, now you can provide monthly vesting and quarterly vesting, but you can also provide monthly vesting so that employees can see that some value of equity being credited at the end of every month. So that is one big change in terms of monthly, quarterly versus an annual vesting. And the biggest change we are seeing is in terms of the liquidity being provided, which we talked about, where Chaitanya mentioned that providing liquidity at an early stage. Earlier, liquidity means ESOP holders used to get liquidity when there's an IPO or when its company got acquired, and acquiring company provides liquidity. But now for the last 1 year, almost every company, Series P and above, it's default that some portion of what the fundraise is being used for providing liquidity to the employees and provide this thing. But some companies, we saw 1-2 examples even providing liquidity even at Series A. That is like a dramatic sort of thing that which we never heard about in the earliest, providing liquidity to the employees, which Series A means is typically at 2 years of joining the company. So all big changes, significant changes, all proactively changing. I think a lot of improvements, and founders and everyone willing to share the equity upside with the employees and all joining together to create value in the company.
Revolutionize your startup's equity management with Qapita. Request a demo today.